Hi there, I'm a good friend of Arurara. Today I'm gonna talk about what he says in Japanese and English on behalf of him so that y'all whose mother tongue is English are able to understand it. Let me know if I speak wrongly translation-wise and English-wise by leaving messages or whatever you feel comfortable. I'm gonna make videos related to Procreate since I've received quite a few requests on Twitter. So today, I'm gonna talk a little bit about creating brushes 101. As I've watched Procreate tutorials, this 6B brush, which is in the initial library, goes down well, I guess, and is commonly used by many people. Personally, Apple Pencils are up to snuff and this tilt feature is used for particularly drawing some rough texture. And it is favored by people who I think have been drawing in analog. And yet, I find it difficult to draw with this sort of uncertain thing. It can, however, be some that makes works interesting. But I needed to disable this. For me, this initial one has all the bells and whistles, so I'll get rid of some features. Alright, without further ado, let's get down to business. I'm gonna show you the ropes how I customize an initial 6B brush from scratch. First of all, create a new layer, and this is the image drawn by the original one. Nextly, duplicate it, otherwise you'll burn your bridge. And this step called tilt decides the pencil's behavior is how the brush works when you angle the pencil. Now the default parameter is at 9 degrees, so if you tilt it up to 9 degrees, the size will increase to 63% and a gradation will occur. In my case, this is just an unwanted feature, so I'm turning it off. Then no matter how you tilt the pencil, it doesn't affect anything. As it stands, only the function of the pencil itself is the pressure. Now if we draw some, it still appears to be almost the same as I previously drew. The selling point of this brush is the capability of expressing rough texture. When I tilt the pencil, the texture around here, there might be people who particularly like this texture. Because I weighted out the tilt function, it hardly appears to be a rough texture, which is the selling point, so it may have gone downhill. When the pencil leans, if it's a rhythmic and dynamic line, the wanted texture appears, but not much of a linear line like here. So the brush needs to brush up on the quality. Duplicate the brush and create a new layer. I'm gonna modify the one I just duplicated. As I increase scatter in the shape tab, the square oblique-like shape rotates. The more you turn up, the more it rotates randomly. Now with the red, definitely black. Whatever you draw lines, the desirable roughness appears. You may well hit the roadblock that you're tempted to use this brush in a larger area. but its maximum size is this. Yeah, it's just a tool for drawing a line, not for painting. I occasionally want to finish drawing with just one brush. It is sometimes fiddly to change brushes, you know. In case you want to paint with this in a larger area, you may want to modify this. As you can see, the default setting of the maximum size is 9%. When I ramp it up to 100%, the size enlarges, needless to say. Notwithstanding that, it's not up to snuff. It can be big enough, but well, if you want to draw a way larger area or paint a selection quickly, Procreate still allows you to increase the maximum size. Time is the essence, you know. Now let's get to work on enlarging the size. Duplicate it as always and tell you what. The maximum size in Procreate is determined by how many brushes are gathered in a stack. When you turn up the spacing, it results in a vague and foggy texture, but you are now capable of increasing the maximum size more than 100% simultaneously. The current size is 10 times bigger than the previous one. 1,000. This is the brush whose size is 1,000%. It's not bad, but it's still a bit rough around the edges. Specifically, it sacrifices the cleanliness of the line, so I'm taking care of it. Create a new layer and duplicate the brush. To fix this, turn up the count, which is in the Shape tab. It's a parameter to determine how much of the same brush is placed on each painting. Now it gets denser. The density of the brush in one tap changes, not the spacing. It thus retrieves the sharpness in the maximum size. That's how I create custom brushes. So today, I made several brushes by customizing the initial 6B brush. I only use the fundamental functions so far, so I'd rather make another video which is beyond basics. Yep, making other tutorials for Procreate is on my radar. Alrighty, let's do a sense check of what I did so far. The initial one. The one without the tilt feature. The one added rough textures. The one maximized the size. The one enabled to maximize the size up to 10 times. The one adjusted to retrieve the previous impression.
な感じで、いろいろそのブラシ、上のボケボケのやつ
There
が
are
好きって人も
multiple
いるだろうし、
preferences,
下の濃い
examples of which are people who like vague images and sharp images,
こんな感じでい
etc.
ろいろ派生品
Given
と
that
して
you do what I just showed you, you'll get multiple brushes and eventually you'll possess your only brush library.
なんだろうな、ブラシ作りが
You will get a kick out of getting hands on these custom brushes. By leaving brushes in the middle of the process, if you happen to want to make a certain brush out of the blue, you know how to manage, because you know what your intentions were when you created
自
it.
分の中で分かってると、今って結構この四角いレンガみたいなシェイプ
But
で、それを
now I was working on a brush whose brush is a rectangle, but
これが丸だった
what if it's a
三角
circle?
だったら
What if it's a triangle? Or what if it's something along those lines?
ブラシを作ったらどうなるんだろうみたいなのを考えておくと、考えてみると結構そのいろんな派生品という
What
か
I'm trying to say is you're the only person who comprehends the purpose of these brushes.
どんどんできていくので
Consequently, you'll get your hands on your own brush set in the end,
自分で
like I
検索
said
すると
before.
ちょっと同じこと言ってるんですけど、できていくと思います。で、次はとりあえず
Next time,
その
I'm thinking of showing you the aforementioned what if
どうなる
cases.
かみたいなのをちょっとブラシ作りの
If you like this video or you learned something new, please like and subscribe with the notifications. Thank you for watching. I'll see you for another video. Bye bye.